and another class is coming out, as well as starting to build some Marauders with a tech lab for upgrades over here, and throwing down his command center. Of course, the Terran, being the bastards that they are, can just fly it right up there. And still going to want to break down those rocks, though. And oh, the armies are moving out here, so knowing this, Colossus going. Oh, and all the siege tanks just sieged up, and that was massive damage. Oh, that was terrible. And the Immortal goes down. These Stalkers are trying to fend off this Colossus, and oh, those siege tanks just wrecked yet another couple Stalkers. These Stalkers are hurting, and these Colossus are going to have to pull back, warp again, some more Stalkers, reinforcements at the natural expansion. Yes, that was quite a good push out for Renfox, just flying around, making sure no one's on the high ground. And looks like he's going to try and secure this expansion as well. One thing that I was going to say earlier about going such a heavy tank build is you really want to get this middle ground sieged up very early in the game. Doing that is going to allow you to have that map control just a bit better. And then, oh, look at this. Are we going to get some Colossus abuse of this high ground? Let's see what kind of vision Renfox. No, Renfox does not have vision right now. He probably needs to move this Viking out just a little farther. Throwing down a couple missile turrets as, I'm not quite sure why he pulled out missile turrets. They can shoot Colossus, because keep in mind they are vulnerable to air attacks. Maybe he's just throwing them down because he saw that Observer and didn't like being scouted. So looks like he's gonna opt to fly this command center over here instead, and getting a couple shots up. Looks like 4 Marines died to these Colossus here, as they are +1 damage now, and this one Colossus does have 10 kills. So look to see if this high ground Colossus comes into play quite a bit more during this game. Battle cruiser on the way for Renfox. So wrong on all counts by myself. He was looking for battle cruisers with that tech lab, and this is going to be a fairly interesting game. Very heavy siege tank into battle cruiser. This guy pulls out all the stops, didn't want to deal with any of those lower tier worthless units, and he is now, his income cannot be doing well. Yes, 700, and that is solely because of the sheer numbers of SCVs he has right now, and really needs to get that worker transfer done pretty soon, as now he's down to 4 nodes, and these nodes are going to be gone in a matter of seconds. So, oh, Colossus coming over here, sniping out a couple of these missile turrets going up. Doesn't seem like Renfox is really reacting to this. Nope, still hasn't reacted yet, and another one goes down. We'll see what happens here. These are actually some pretty brave Colossus right now, as that Viking, there's not a whole lot to chase that Viking off. There the Stalkers go. And keep in mind there's a warp prism on the field now. Let's watch and see what that does, as I do remember it coming into play at least a little bit. Note this pylon position. You can actually warp guys either on the high ground or the low ground here. And you do need vision of that, however, so controlling this watchtower with a Colossus would allow that. Or there's an observer up here. Throwing down a scan for Renfox. It looks like he's going to move his units in a position to secure this high ground, and these Colossus are just going to sit here and wait it out. 8 kills, 2 kills, and 11 kills. Not too shabby. And oh, look at this, some Zealots getting, oh, and that is a break for it from the SCVs. It looks like there was about 2 there, and suddenly all 42 or so of them just book it over to the expansion, as these Zealots just getting dropped in with this warp prism for a little light harass is what I would call that. And I do believe I saw this battle cruiser and know that that is going to be an issue now. And oh, meanwhile, apparently the Colossus tried to make a push in here, and all the siege tanks said and completely blasted those Colossus out. So I guess no more Colossus harassment for right now, as little two-fronted battle going on there, and just so many siege tanks. Let's take a look at the unit tab. 12 siege tanks, a battle cruiser, 15 Marines, and you guys can read the rest. I'm not going to bore you with that. Now, this is a pretty inefficient way to mine for Renfox. And taking a look at his income here, yeah, he's still about 300, 200 minerals behind, as we're both effectively mining off of pretty much one base at this point. And going back to the production tab, more Immortals and a Templar Archives on the way. Templars, maybe not the best at killing siege tanks, as they do have quite a bit of health and armor there. So we'll look to see if that's going to come into play. If he Renfox decides to go any more beefy on his either Marines, Marauders, or even battle cruisers, as if you don't research Yamato cannon, which most people don't, where's his fusion core here, because I did not catch it, no. Most people don't even deal with buying the Yamato cannon, and I really think that's a mistake. Not only does it outrange most static defenses, but it allows you to keep your battle cruiser from having too much energy. 200 right there, one feedback, pow. He's now down to half his health effectively, and that can be pretty devastating. So we'll look to see if that comes into play here. But right now, Templar Archives are done, Storm's on the way, Weapons 2, a couple missile turrets going up, and third expansion going up for myself, and Renfox still tons and tons of SCVs, just building lots of missile turrets. Apparently he's just really worried about aircraft flying over here. However, those missile turrets don't actually have vision up here. What's giving him that vision right now is this medevac and this Viking. So we'll see. That is a lot of immortals for myself now. Looking at 7 immortals. And the immortals, of course, pretty effective against siege tanks. However, that is a lot of siege tanks. That's going to be a very difficult position to break. Obviously, as you guys can see, another effective place to put all the siege tanks is right in between these two choke points, as they're going to cover both of them pretty well, and more siege tanks rolling out. Kydarian Amulet on the way as Storm got chrono boosted and is complete. And notice this backdoor would still be a very nice viable option for this, and we will see what happens here. High Templar are out on the field now, got 5 of them, and their Storm is available and ready. Just a moment, thank you. Alright, and this battle cruiser getting a little ballsy higher. He does have about 5 Vikings, 6 Vikings, something like that. A couple medevacs. And not quite sure why he isn't spreading these siege tanks out a little more. Maybe putting some on this high ground could really affect the economy for myself at this time. Maybe even throwing a couple at the Zelnaga. Even some up here would be an excellent spot. This Colossus now up here, it's going to probably come over and take a look, see what's going on, maybe catch that Zelnaga for a moment. If we look at my vision real quick here, yeah. And a scan goes down for Renfox. That is a uncanny scan. As well, he just sees what's waiting for him right there if he tries to roll out. So looks like he's going to be content to just continue to mine. And oh, tech switch going down for myself. 3 Stargates and Protoss air weapons level 1 on the way. So we are looking at Void Rays or maybe even carriers. Not quite sure, but keep an eye on that. And these Vikings said, "Oh, Colossus, you silly bastard, what the fuck are you trying to do?" Just cleaning that up with ease. And now there's only 1 Colossus on the field, but 4 or 5 High Templar will make up for that. Going to be able to kill these Marines with no upgrades, no combat shield, and no upgrades on the battle cruisers, no upgrades on the siege tanks, no upgrades on the Vikings. You see where I'm going with this. Another battle cruiser is out on the field, but so many players just neglecting upgrades. It's kind of silly. Ground army for myself, +2 weapons, 1 shields and armor. Of course, the shields goes around for everyone, and no air units out. Well, there's 1 air unit right there, but of course the shield upgrade is going to be the only thing holding that. And so effectively, looking at the income real quick. Ooh. Oh! Oh, we are going to have to go back for that. That is just too good to be true. Just caught the back end of that. I apologize for that. Did not pay attention to the minimap. Probably the drugs. I'm going to speed it up real quick here. And where's that warp prism at? Because that's really what we're going to want to see. That Colossus went down, and this warp prism was like, alright, well, if we can't get Colossus up there due to Vikings, let's see what a couple High Templar can do. And keep an eye on the Harvester and income count, because things are about to go horribly, horribly wrong for Renfox, I believe. as the old High Templar drop is going to be used. I believe that was pretty popular in StarCraft 1, and as you're about to see, there is absolutely no reason not to use it in StarCraft 2. And oh! Oh, so many of those SCVs just went down. The rest of them are low on health. This siege tank trying to siege up, and let's see how many kills. 10 and 5. 15 kills, and oh, they came back. Are we going to get another storm? Oh, 2 more storms, and oh, so many more SCVs just went down. 16 and 7 now. These are some baller High Templar, and he is pissed. He is not about to let that continue to happen. He knows he needs to make something happen now, and if all these siege tanks siege up, this is going to be extremely bad. There are a lot of immortals here, and their shields are taking some damage, but that is a lot of marines whittling down the shields. Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad. That is a lot of siege tanks. Sorry, folks. This is not a very good angle. Let's see if we can do something better for you. A couple storms going down on the siege tanks. Not the most effective way to bring them down, and that was as one-sided as it gets. That was terrible. So many Vikings, the battle cruiser's still out, and we are looking at 12, 13, oh, I'm sorry,